Hello again. I really wanted to film this video outside today because I think it's a bit more interesting sometimes. A lot of people film videos inside, and whereas I'm not an outside person, I thought I'd push myself to record outside a bit more. Also, it's a little bit scary, isn't it? Because people might come and then you have to stop talking and act like you're not doing anything. But I'll get over that. So I recently broke up with my girlfriend, and I've been thinking about it a lot, as you can imagine. The thinking about it actually led me to breaking up with her, obviously. It's not as clear cut as you can imagine. We'd been together for 4 years. It's hard to say whether I was in love. I've always struggled to define love. I guess I'm more cynical, scientific, although recently I have lent more into the spiritual side of things. I've definitely had really, 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 really strong feelings for somebody. I think I'm still trying to define love. I had a go at defining it before, and that was if you love somebody, you would put their life above your own. I don't think I've come close to that. So I would describe myself as, how would I describe myself? For the past 4 years or so, I've been on a journey of self-exploration, and a lot of this exploration has been going on inside. So I'm quite analytical. I'm constantly sort of thinking about the things that have happened. I'm trying to be mindful. I'm not overly emotional. I do have moments where my first instinct is to react emotionally, but I've become quite good at recognizing that I feel an emotion in the moment and taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or as long as I need to reflect on it and then act accordingly rather than acting in the moment. Although, there have been times when in this relationship, once or twice when I've lost it a little bit. I didn't break up with my ex-girlfriend because the relationship was bad, because it wasn't. It was great. We've been together for 4 years, very low maintenance. We both had external interests outside of the relationship, and we were both quite independent people. So that was super nice. There weren't any demands on me. And like I said, I had really strong feelings for her. And I still have those moments, as you do when you break up with someone, where you're like, oh, did I make a mistake? Because I think what the mind does is remind you of the good things more easily than remind you of the bad things, unless the bad things were really bad, in which case they weren't. One thing I've reflected on, and maybe a thing that led to the demise in my recent relationship, was in the real world with people, I'm definitely not a people pleaser. I can definitely now say, no, I don't want to do that, and not feel bad about it. In a relationship and past relationships, I fall into this trap where I want to make the other person feel as good as possible. So what I end up doing is putting my own needs second. And what happened in the past relationship was, after the 4 years, I feel like I'd done that so many times that actually a lot of the time it wasn't me doing what I wanted to do. And I felt a bit trapped, and that also led to resentment. So I should have communicated better. And I think we come out of every relationship and we should learn more about who we are and what we want. And I think that's what I'll be taking into my next relationship, almost like to a fault, where I'm going to be like, no, I don't want to do that. I think there is a balance or a fine line to be drawn, because sometimes your brain tells you you don't want to do something. Self-preservation, there's a fear of danger or being out of your comfort zone. So I'm actually a big fan in regular life of putting myself up my comfort zone, so that I need to bring that as well. And a lot of the time when you're doing things that are outside your comfort zone, you're learning about yourself. You're learning what you like and what you don't like. And if you don't do anything that's outside of your comfort zone, you'll live a very sort of narrow, limited existence. But I think I'll definitely put myself first a lot more. It's hard as well because during this relationship, the relationship started like post-COVID. And I felt like during that time, because I was inside and some things happened, and I got to spend a lot of time with myself without any distractions, I was like reborn. That sounds cheesy, but I was reborn. And then I was out into the world, and then suddenly I was in a relationship with somebody. So, I mean, people grow, but I'd done quite a bit of growth, I think, in my opinion, during the 4 years of the relationship. And as the relationship had gone on, it had become apparent that the two of us leading separate lives, even though it was great, we didn't have a shared goal. And we had discussed doing things together in the future. But I think as I, maybe in my subconscious, was thinking, I'm not really sure, am I feeling 100% in this? Every time that was mentioned, I would sort of like pull back a little bit or not be committal. So one thing I wish is, in the way my brain works, in any relationship, I feel like when you start, you meet somebody, you are physically attracted to them, and then you get some green flags. You're like, wow, green flag, we've got this in common. Green flag, I really agree with your lifestyle. Green flag, sexually, everything's great. But in between the green flags, there's some amber flags, amber flag, amber flag. And those are easy to put to rest. And it's really hard, and you need to be really open-minded, because I think it's very unlikely that you'll meet somebody with 100% green flags. You are going to differ on opinion and taste with people. So I suppose it's important to be curious and be compassionate and try and understand people the best you can. But back to what I was saying about amber flags. These amber flags, I guess they build up, or you put them to bed. And then after 3 years of relationship, you're just there with loads of amber flags, and you can't even remember the green flags anymore. I mean, red flags are a big no-no. I did recently start talking to somebody, and the first day we spoke after we matched on Tinder, fantastic, good vibe. And then sometimes it even takes like just one day or like 3 hours of conversation. You ask the right questions, you find out about their lifestyle. And if you've got some non-negotiables, or you feel like maybe your life isn't really compatible with theirs, it's okay to be selfish here. What I used to do was just ghost people. I think it's important, once you get to the point of sharing numbers and you're in somebody's phone book shows how old I am, contacts, that's what they say now. I think it's important to say, I don't really think it's a vibe. It was cool talking to you, but that's it. I've never dumped somebody after like 4 hours of chat and not meeting them. But I feel like that's more upfront and honest. Anyway, it's been nearly, what day is it? 2 weeks? No, 1 week? Maybe 1 week. 1 week since my breakup. So it's quite new, but I've been thinking about it for a while. So life's really weird. I've suddenly got a lot of free time, and that's why I'm making these videos, because I'm trying to do something useful with it and explore me. I don't know what the next video is going to be about, but I'll try and give you more insights into my life. Maybe actually that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a video about trying to find things to make videos about, because I think that's the hardest thing when you start. For a couple of years now, I've really liked making videos. I really like editing videos and just putting something out. But I struggle with what to make videos about. So let's explore that. I think for these first 8 videos or whatever, no one's going to see them. But if you do see it and you like it, give me a sub. That'd be pretty nice. Bye-bye.